Hi, I'm Hassandra. I'm the president and founder of MAD, and I am mad about domestic violence.
I am Angel. I am the vice president of MAD, and I am mad about domestic violence.
My name is Deborah Cook. I'm the secretary of MAD, and I am mad about domestic violence.
Hello, I'm Chantel, and I'm mad about domestic violence.
My name is Martina, and I'm mad about domestic violence.
I'm Zyla, and I'm mad about domestic violence.
It doesn't matter who I am, because I'm representing all the elders in the village, and we are mad about domestic violence.
Never meant to cause you any sorrow. Never meant to cause you any pain. Only wanna see you one time laughing. I only wanna see you laughing in the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see you dancing in the purple rain. I never wanted to be a weekend lover. Only wanted to be some kind of friend. I can never steal you from another. Ain't it such a shame, such a shame? It's such a shame our friendship had to end. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. I only wanna see you bathing in the purple rain. Honey, I know the times are changing. And times we young wanna reach out for someone new. That means you too. You say you need a leader. You can't make up your mind. I think you better close it. Let me lead you now. Let him lead you now. Let him lead you now into the purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain, purple rain. Purple rain.
following is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised.
Purple Rain. So that was beautiful. And with music, the great thing about lyrics is that everybody takes them the way that they take them. Like they all mean something personal to each of us. But I looked up what Prince, the artist, everybody knows Prince, what Prince actually said the meaning of Purple Rain was. And this was his words. He said, when there's blood in the sky, red and blue equals purple, and purple rain pertains to the end of the world and being with the one you love and letting your faith or God guide you through the purple rain. So I know what that means to me, but of course we're going to kind of have a discussion about what it means to each of us. But for 2023, the Mad About Domestic Violence open discussion question, it's going to be, why is it so hard to let go of emotional attachments or love, especially in situations where domestic violence is present or it may be suspected? Why is it so hard? We're all in this love energy with Prince in our own minds, but why is it so hard for us just to detach from those emotional attachments when domestic violence is involved? Who wants to start?
Well, for some, the reason it may be hard for them to detach themselves is because their abuser many times have torn down their self-esteem, the victim's self-esteem, and made them feel like they're totally dependent on that person who's the abuser. So then they feel like if they leave that person, they don't have anyone. Oftentimes, because they've also isolated the person many times from their family or friends.
And that's a real common situation, more common than we know, and that really has to go with the psyche of a person, you know, the mental thought pattern of a person. And I would say a woman, but we all know that domestic violence don't just center towards or point towards women. Is an issue with men as well. So it doesn't matter the gender, the race, and even your financial status. You know, domestic violence is present on all hands of those places. What's your thoughts about that, Martina?
We said, why is it hard for you? Mentioned a big thing about the mental playing a huge role, because sometimes it's what people see. For example, what they see relationships as, they don't really value them, so that might feel like love, and that might feel like the only love I'm going to get, or the best love I've gotten, even though, you know, it's definitely better than being in those situations out there. But if you've never seen it, then that's what that feels like.
That's good. Valuing relationship and not understanding exactly what a relationship is supposed to look like. But who really defines what relationships look like?
I think we take our examples. We take the people that we see. We take what society feeds us and what we see, you know, TV, radio, and we make this image of who we're supposed to be. And in actuality, my answer to that question would be that a lot of times we're looking for identity. We don't really know who we are, and we're looking for someone else to help define who we are. And we're missing that whole thing that Mama used to tell us about, you know, find out who you are, what you want out of life. And because of that, I think it's society and experiences have shaped the way that we react to life. Or not even react. Sometimes we're not even living.
Wow. Wow. And that goes to just what you talk about in your daily business of normal, of defining what normal is. And sometimes people don't have that example, or they haven't defined for themselves, or had mama or auntie or grandma or daddy or grandpa or uncle to instill those things. And even sometimes in some people cases, the village isn't even there. You know, we've been blessed with the village on so many levels. So I think we don't really understand that concept of how much the village actually means to who we are and how we define ourselves in our character. So that's powerful. That's powerful. How have you defined just relationships? Just to kind of pin in on that for a minute, like.
I mean, a lot of, growing up, you see I was raised by my grandparents. I saw them fighting, drinking, and then so I took a lot of examples of what a relationship was supposed to be from that. And then also, like my friends, I mean, I had friends tell me, oh, you're supposed to be married by the time you're 30 and have kids, and this is what love is. And, uh, I mean, who are they to say, And a lot of, I grew up in church actually, and seeing a lot of that. Sadly, a lot of the couples there that I thought were great examples of happy married relationships, I found out later they got divorced and stuff. And it's who's to say what a happy and normal relationship is anymore. And it's kind of what you said too. You have to find yourself, and it sounds so cliche, but I truly have believed now that you have to find yourself and your relationship with a higher power or God, and then seek out somebody to have adventures with.
That's it.
To share your
That's
happiness
That's
with,
what's
your
up
joy, your
adventures
music.
with.
I like the way you put that, share adventures with.
Yes.
Because that's kind of part of Prince's explanation about the purple rain, how you have to venture with God or venture in your faith and going back. I wonder what was really going through his mind when he was like singing this song, because I don't think he wrote it. We're going to fact check that.
You want to check it
But
out?
I don't think he wrote it, because when I was reading, I believe it said that the song was actually written for somebody else. I always thought that he was like created the lyrics of it. So to be able to sing those lyrics so powerful, and they're not even your lyrics, it's like a whole nother level of genius.
Well, Whitney Houston, that's Dolly Parton.
Yes.
Yeah, she nailed it.
Thing. That was great. The song was written by Dolly Parton.
Even though those words were not written for him necessarily, he still felt it.
Yes.
So that's why he was able to convey it the way he did.
Because those emotions, even when it comes to domestic violence, like I know that I'm a survivor of domestic violence. So, and I always tell people I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor, because it was like, yeah, you hit me, I'm hit you back. We just gonna fight. That was my attitude. But it was just, I wasn't in a mind frame to say, I don't have to fight. I don't have to have this conversation. I don't have to be with you. And my big thing was I wanted to be correct with not just living with my boyfriend. I wanted to be married. So I jumped the broom when I literally jumped the broom too soon, and it caused issues because neither one of us was mentally ready to be married, and neither one of us was mentally in a state to understand who we were as individuals, so that we can be ready for another individual to enter our lives. So Angel, I see you over there, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pose this question. I feel it over there. So why do you think it's so hard to let go of emotional attachments or love, especially when domestic violence is present or may be suspected?
Well, speaking for self, I feel like it's kind of twofold, and I said that because one, I think it goes back to childhood, and like similar to what Deborah was saying, is off of what we see, what we were shown, the things that we are used to, what society has taught us about what love is supposed to be. So you want to hold on to that picture, that image of that perfect love, that love story that you created, that you're in your mind trying to shape it to be like what you see in the movie.
Disney fairy tale.
Right. And then it also, the other part of that is the just learning your way of doing it, but then your ups and your downs, speaking for me, like I've never been, well, of course, like all relationships are not perfect. I've never been in a relationship longer than 2 years. And for me, there was one part of me that was, at one point in my life, I was just like, I don't have to deal with this. I'm leaving. So I would leave. But then my last relationship, it was one of those where I'm like, this relationship is going to be my last relationship. I had made up my mind that was what it was going to be, but it did not turn out that way. I was literally,
She was ready. I ain't going nowhere.
yes, I was like, I'm gonna fight through this. We're gonna communicate through this. We're gonna work through this. But then it got to a point where, there was because this is a domestic violence conversation, there was an argument that happened when we were out the country, and I'm not gonna tolerate you calling me out my name too many times. So in that situation, I became that
Too many
too many times.
That's love wisdom.
Too many times. So I got riled up and I got in his face. No two wrongs don't make a right, but I got up in his face, which created a monster and what it was. Then I ended up getting my ass beat. But I say all that to say it's twofold, because you learn what you see and you want that, but then when you're in the situation, you want to create that, or you want to hold on to that by building your own story, but then shit happens. Shit happens, and it's hard because you want so hard to be that person that's like, I'm not gonna stand for it. You can't talk to me like that. I want to be like, all while saying I want to be with you. I want to make this work, but I'm not gonna let you talk to me like that. Why are you treating me this way? But I'm gonna protect you when the police comes because you put your hands on me. I'm going to
Where my phone
stand
at?
up for you.
I don't want you
because
Where my phone?
I don't want you to go to jail.
But I
I'm
want you to-
scared. We're in another country. I don't know what to do. I called my cousin 2:00 in the morning. I don't even know what time it was here in Georgia, but I called her because I was scared and brave at the same time, because I wanted to be standing my ground. I didn't want to show them that I was crying. I had no tears. I stepped out the room to cry to her, but in the room I was just like, no. You be the bold man. You talking your shit. You put your hands on me. But yeah, I was scared because I wanted to show them that I was in control of myself, but yet I wanted to hold on to a love story that I wanted to create, because even through him putting his hands on me, I still wanted to be with him. I still wanted to love him. I still wanted him to love me.
Your turn.
The idea, what is it, the fairy tale that we buy into, looking for this love and really not even actually really realizing how to love our own selves or what it even looks like. And sometimes we have this preconceived notion about what love is. It's soft, it's sensual, it's what we see on TV, they love making it all. Everything, you know what I'm saying? But love is a very complicated thing. And we don't take, we're only looking for the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like the stuff that we see, but we really don't know how to stick in there. And then sometimes we fall in love with the idea
Of love.
That part.
Or you stick in there, but you're sticking there with the wrong person.
Oh, yeah.
And that was my situation as far as like pride. I always tell people, it wasn't that I stayed because I had to. I stayed because I need to work out the pride in me to let go. And so that was like my main thing, because I said, if I leave this marriage, that means I failed at this marriage. I didn't see it the way that I see it now. I needed to move forward. I needed to move on. I needed to get into a position of power, and I needed to utilize my power. So it was really shocking to family and friends when I began to be open about domestic violence, because everybody see me as that strong one. Like, I know she ain't doing this. I know she's not going through this. But I was sitting there going through it. But one thing that I know is by me going through that situation, because all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, and I'm a believer. So one of the great things about that is by me voicing, this is what I did, this is how I felt, being very transparent and very honest with people close to me and strangers. It gave them strength to not go through some of the things that I had to go through, or even if they had to go through it, they didn't have to stay as long as I did. Because I'm like, listen, I got a hammer in my hand and I'm ready to like really kill you. And when I got that mad, I was like, no, girl, you got to stop. You have children. This temper is not you. You are so much better than that. You are creative. You are beautiful. You are beyond. Like, you are everything that you need to be, everything that you need, you have. You need to put that out into the universe. So I started using my energy into getting out of the situation instead of trying to hold on to the situation.
And it's funny that you say that because the day I made up my mind, the week that I left my relationship, the night before, in the mirror, I stood and I sobbed and I cried, but I spoke words of affirmation into myself, and I told myself that I was better than that and I deserved better. And I think that conversation with myself went on for about 30 minutes in the mirror.
Awesome.
But the next morning, I woke up and I started looking for apartments, and by the next day I got approved for somewhere else to go, and by Saturday I was here in Brunswick. Like it took that to happen for me to move because I still wanted to stay. But if it wasn't for that conversation I had in the mirror, and I thought about my mom as I was in the mirror, like what she would say to me, and that made I woke up feeling lighter the next day. I felt so much lighter.
Ancestors.
So
Ancestors. They all up in here. People was panicking about the rain. I say they just clearing the way. And y'all walked in here with the sun behind you.
So give us some wisdom, Miss Wendy. You got some wisdom here on this question. Why is it so hard to let go of emotional attachments, especially in situations with domestic violence?
Okay. Why is it so hard though? Because it's easy. See, we take the easy way. Easy way is successful, don't you know? But I'm a product of domestic violence in utero. And that's why I'm a doula. That's why I'm committed. And I don't hold it against my mom. Because my father cheated. And she was depressed. Because my brother, out of the marriage, is his birthday is a day after mine, a year later. So I was blessed to meet him at his 21st birthday, and I did not know he was. See, God got a plan. All we gotta do is live. Like old people say, just keep living.
Keep living.
Okay, I'm on. I didn't have a man beat me down. My ex-husband calls me every day. If I call him right now, put the speakerphone on, I don't even have to prompt him. He just say, greetings. How you doing, queen? And I'm not with him.
Right.
I had 15 staples in my head being associated with him. Did he hit me? No, his lifestyle. But I never lost consciousness. I survived. And so that was I guess it was violence in a domestic situation. Only thing that I think that really saved me was the Holy Spirit, because when they came in, I thought it was police. Because they were clean shit and stuff. But when they left because I said the Lord's Prayer out loud. I said, and I sat in my birthing chair. It was a big, comfortable chair, like the one in the office. And I said the Lord's Prayer. And the guy in the back heard, and he said, kill her. Well, he said, Whoa, shoot that bitch. And I wasn't afraid because the Holy Spirit came. It was that coldness. It was like a cold it was like a shield. And I felt it, and he felt it. So the guy was going to kill me. He was like, with the gun, with that red light. What's that red light mean on the gun?
the laser.
The laser.
That's it. And he said, he froze. I called out to my father. My father's dead. I walked past him, and I said, Dad, please, don't let my family die. Help me. And I went back in, and they I had orbital fracture, 15 staples. They didn't kick me with their Timbs in my chest, thank God, because I was nursing a 1-year-old. And I had to nurse him all through that pain. It was a domestic situation. But enough of that. That's just a little piece. So, MADlife, because I got lots of stories, and they're all trying. Blinking, I ain't closed my eyes or nothing. Okay? They helped me to write it down. Well, I already had written it down, but to put it in order. So, all of y'all, when my book comes out, it's my gift.
Yes.
I mean, I'm not giving it to you for free, but I'm saying it's my gift. But I was born in 1957, and that's how much it's going to be, because Cassandra lets me be who I am.
Yes.
And I have a poem. But what I wanted to say was this. When I cried, because there's power in vibration. And I'm an empath, what most of you know, and I'm able to say it without,
Yes, mention now.
and people are freaking out because I could read you, a stranger, instantly. So that takes a lot of protection. That's why when you come into my house, it's protected. That's why I said, oh, let me take your shoes off. Because you're walking in. See, a lot of times we drag that drunk mother and father or grandparents. We drag that. I lived in the South Bronx. Yeah, like in the, I'm 66, so do the math. And I had a mother. I had a father. My mother rejected me while she was ironing my father's underwear. Okay, that's what women did back then. You was a mother. And she didn't work because he was a man. Now, he wasn't by standards, if you believe in them. I don't believe in monogamy. Only because we were created to attract other people, and especially of the opposite sex. If you believe, that's how we were created. So it's always going to be that. But see, like she said, when you start buying the hype and looking at TV, and stuff like that, I know what a man looked like. So all the other men had to step up. Now, my father, he was a domestic snake violator, or whatever you call it. He was a sneaky domestic violator to my mother. And when he got quiet, I got so scared. Because I never saw him hit her. But I would see her.
I think the great point in was we don't want to let it go. It's the easy way.
Yeah. But she did. She did. And she told me when I wanted to leave my marriage, she said, stay. She said, stay. And I had to remind her, Ma, I was in boarding school because I got a scholarship. And that's another book. But anyway, my mother said, she told me she was going to leave when I was 18. I was in boarding school. I got a call. My sister said she left. My mother left in a sheer dress. I have pictures. She was laced at the house. My father made sure she looked good at home. And her raincoat. And he probably beat her because now the stress of dreaming about domestic violence, being away from them and worrying. I used to have nightmares. My father was chasing my mother. And right before something happened, I would wake up. So we have these things.
Yes.
Okay. So I understand why you wanted to be with him. Because after you invest, sometimes you say, shit, all I put into this, and I paid the car note, and I remember when he had shit, and I did it. I'm reading her. Don't look at me. Okay, let me tell you.
So you think that's part of the reason that we say, like, what would you say about that as far as like
Sometimes
the investment of the relationship? What's your thoughts about that? Get some more wisdom.
Well, for me, I'm not in a situation like that now, but I was in my first situation of marriage with Mike. But for me, I just said it's going to change. I felt like it would change. We're both young, doesn't know what to do, it'll change. But then I was going toe to toe. And I said, when I decided that no more will we have any kind of, not even heated verbal, I said, you're going to sleep and you're going to eat. And I left it at that. And it didn't happen again.
See there?
You're gonna sleep and you're gonna eat, and she left it at that, and it didn't happen again. It didn't happen again.
Oh, amen. You got attitude. They may not want that spaghetti that night. Okay. They be like, my father used to go.
Smell.
And look at us and we
A lot of traditional, I guess, marriages back in like the older days, they tend to stay. Because back in those days, the man was the breadwinner, and the woman, it's like, girl, you better stay, but not leave that man. You pay all the bills, that thing, and just the typical.
No, they do that now. I don't wanna,
and they do, and I see that in more of the higher pay grades, or the higher class. When I speak with women who has more funds, they're kind of rich. they're more prompt to stay because they have to start over. I started over with less than $30. When I tell you, I was like, you can have all this. I
That's what
don't
I
want
did.
it. And I
All this is
literally, I
me.
said, once I get to a position where I own land, because I've been on this y'all know I've been on this 7-year plan. When I get to a position when I own land, I'm going to show the picture of the laundry rooms that I set up in to live in for 6 months because I'd rather have lived in that laundry room at my mama's 1-bedroom apartment and live another
Village.
day
I hear
in a
village.
position where I just was like fighting every single day. So who's our survivors? I'm a survivor. If y'all don't mind.
I told you it's in utero. So
Okay, so we're all survivors. Okay.
And not just with mate, but others who violated spaces that they should not have.
Okay.
You know, close family or close friends with a family, that kind of thing.
yeah.
I know you already kind of answered. We're gonna push in on why do you think we just so attached to that moment, or why do people be so attached? We're gonna go a little deeper.
She hit the nail on the head and said it was easy because it is. It's comfortable, and I don't know. Like again, like she said, you put in so much time with the person, or as you said, you start your family and you feel like this is my family. If I leave, I failed, or I didn't complete what I was supposed to complete, or I was supposed to, this is success. Or really, me being happy and being at peace should be my success.
That part.
So how do we get? I know how I got there, but just for somebody who's listening right now, how do we switch that mindset of being in an abusive situation or a situation where we feel like abuse can take place, because we already know that abuse don't have to just be physical. It can be verbal abuse as well. So we're getting the stupids and you're dumb, you're never going to be anything, or this is all that you're good for, or however the verbal abuse is coming. How do we switch our mindsets to stand in a place of power as women or as individuals coming out of a domestic violence situation?
How do we protect them?
How do we switch? What advice would we give? Because we've all switched.
I think advice is taboo now. Like what he said the Purple Rain was, that first song, that it was a red sky, or what was that?
Yeah, the red sky.
The
red
word,
and blue.
yeah,
Red and blue.
yeah, we beyond that now. What did that word you say? Say what you
He
said.
said that.
No, what you said.
What he said?
No, what you said. What did she just say? Because that's what I was thinking of. Huh? No, I said that. It's taboo. That's what happens when you get old. But
because we all forgot what was
Right.
going here.
I would say a lot. All right.
yeah, that's why.
Domestic violence. A lot of the reasons why I have been stuck is because of the word fear, not knowing how I be. I don't come from money, so the reason I've been stuck with a lot of assholes.
You can say it, partner. You in my house. Hey, we swear and we pray.
It's because
Not
fear, not knowing how to take care of myself, not knowing where the next meal will come from, not knowing. And the way that I have pushed forward really has been through supportive friends and realizing that no matter what, that I'm going to be taken care of. Like, just realizing that I have to do it myself. I have to rely on God. I have to rely that things are just going to work out one way or another. Like, this too shall pass. Like, you've got to be stronger than this person oppressing. That you've got to realize that life's got to go on, or else you're just going to die. Kill yourself or something stupid.
The key words were I, and that's like my word. I never blame the other person for anything, even if they are 100% totally wrong in my eyes. I always turn it on me.
You got to be.
Them at all?
I do, but I have, but then it comes to that point when you realize no matter if it is them or it has been them, that you've got to be the bigger person, because they're just gonna keep beating you down and keep using your flaws against you to keep you in that point of fear. Like, I had this one dude tell me, like, oh, well, you need me to pay the bills, so you're never gonna leave. What the F?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nah, player. Like, and then a few months later, I was like, I don't care if I'm broke.
Yeah.
Like,
we-
I've
that's
got
why-
to get away from
she-
this guy.
She's sweet, and we must talk. Yeah, because like
It
we
hurts.
pray, we say, God, oh, this is it.
It hurts.
Oh God, now we ain't dumb. All the people we attracted is for a reason. It's a lesson.
Right.
Okay, so it ain't like was arranged marriage. We should have more of those stuff. But because they last. Ask any arranged marriage people. But they learn to love each other. But I just so proud of y'all. When we pray, oh God, this was my problem. Oh, I want a good man. Give me a good man. Give me a man with money. Give me a man that's funny as me. Give me. And you know what God did? He said, okay. And I said, God, why you give it to me? Because that's all you asked for. Everybody good.
Ooh.
Everybody's good. He made us in his likeness. We're good. Okay? So be careful. You gotta be specific. You have to write down to, the thing. You have to, yeah.
I
'Cause
have
then
a list on my wall
okay.
from top to
And that's
bottom.
good. I would recommend that for people. Because you're gonna get just what you ask for. So be careful what you ask for.
When you said good.
Because you're gonna get it. If it's not it, ain't gonna be what you imagine. It don't have to be bad. It could be awesome. People could lose. People open up the way for more because it's the intention for us to live and to live a better life. All your pain is in your talent. You learned that through the pain and isolation of what you was going through. Okay, I'm done. I can't reach.
She does read well. Goodness gracious. I
I
can
gotta
talk
go
later.
for a minute. I'll be back. I'm not crying. But I gotta
to pick up on what she said, well, to hit the nail on the head with isolation, that's what it was for me. To
Yes.
answer your question, like it took me to get to that low point of feeling completely alone. Yes, I was living. I mean, from being open and honest, like it wasn't just me and it wasn't just my ex. We were actually in a poly relationship. It was three of us living in a house, but I still felt lonely. But at times, and it took for me to get to that place of like this. The morning I woke up after I got my ass beat is when I felt more assured that I was alone, and I felt like that was going to be the end result always. That feeling, that empty, and it's funny because I lived my life growing up like trying to fill a void, chasing relationships, chasing the perfect guy, trying to fill a void. And then when I get the what I think is perfect, let's say my last relationship, I thought it was. I mean, every relationship has its ups and downs, but I didn't have a complaint. But that morning I woke up after I got my ass beat, I felt so low, so isolated, so alone, and that was what motivated me to say, I have to do better. That I need to. I mean, and because everybody wanted to be angry, wanted me to be angry, but I couldn't be angry.
I just want to
I couldn't. I spent 30 minutes talking about what I was gonna do, slashing tires, stuffing mattresses with fish, and all the things. And then after all of that, I said, I can't even do it.
Right.
I can't even bring myself to do it. I couldn't be mad because I was like, at the end of the day, I know what I need to do. And being here, I think the first 2 weeks of being here in Brunswick, it was awful. It was awful because I had nightmares every night thinking about the same thing, the same scenarios of what happened. But it took for me to be alone, for me to find my own place of happiness, my own center to say, I literally remember telling myself, I got this. I can do this. I can actually do this. I moved, with the help of one adult and two children, I literally moved all of my things from Savannah to here. And I remember waking up that Saturday when I finally got here, I was like, I actually got this. I can do this. I unpacked the entire U-Haul by myself with the exception of my brother helping me with the furniture. But I was nervous that I wasn't going to be able to do it. I thought I was going to need people. But I was just like, I can do this. I got it. And I just kept repeating that. It was horrible. It was hard and it was horrible. But I just kept saying, I got this. I can actually do this. So
And
that
the
was
word you were using. Again,
To empower.
It's coming from the eyes and looking at yourself. That's why I said I don't blame people. Go ahead.
I was also saying that you also were looking at the higher power that's within you. You
It's
were
hard.
taking that moment. Sometimes when you're so distracted by life, you don't take that moment and get in contact with that spirit that's within you. That's the reason why it's there. So sometimes we don't really have that connection or conversation, and sometimes we're so muffled. But that's sitting down, shutting up. I tell myself all the time, shut up, shut up. You won't shut up. Shut up. You shut up, you can hear. If you
Well, you
also-
domestic violence cleaning yourself.
No, not in that way. But sometimes you can talk and talk and talk and not really say anything
Right.
beneficial.
And
I'm
that's
thinking
the
about
main
what I
thing.
want you to
I always
do.
ask myself, like, what are
Kind.
I know what you mean. Yeah. You know.
what are you saying to yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How are you talking to yourself? And if you're not speaking to yourself in a way that you would want somebody else to speak to you, then you have to change your own
Mm-hmm.
voice. Because for me, I filter out just about everybody's opinion. Y'all know I'm very me. I filter out just about everybody's opinion. I'll listen to it, but when it comes to the end of the day, it's like, what do you want to do, Cassandra?
Yeah.
If nobody ever said anything to you, how would you want to maneuver your life? Do you want to be in this marriage? Do you want to be in a situation that you don't really want to be in? Like, girl, you don't want to be in that. And then one of the things that helped me get out of domestic violence or get out of certain situations is my measuring stick. So that's my tool. I created a measuring stick. Like I said, I made a list.
Like they got
My
my
list.
to dad.
So I made a measuring stick. And when I date now or in certain relationships, if they don't measure up to my measuring stick, I ain't finna let no yellow flag, red flag, none of that. None of that is going
No
down
flag.
because it's like I've made boundaries and rules for myself because I know myself.
Yeah.
I know that I love hard, and it's like I know I'm not going to change loving hard. I know who I am, so because I know who I am, and I know that people will take advantage of those parts of me, I've made boundaries. So you got 30 days to prove yourself. I don't multi-date. Yes, they are damn sweetie. Don't play with me.
Okay,
But,
check
yeah,
all
check.
X.
And it's not like, oh, you got to be this, you got to be that, you got to be that. It's more like, are you really doing what you're saying? Are you really interested in me, or are you dating around? And I'm very verbal from the beginning. If you want to date me and be serious with me, then you can't be talking to other people. I don't do that most days. So you can't talk to other people. If you're interested in me, you need to be interested here. You have to be very exclusive.
So he has
with me.
no more girlfriends.
None of that. Whoever I'm talking to, that's it. So you got 30 days to wipe all that away. After 30 days,
That's what I told Abba.
yeah.
Because he was a single father. But anyway. No, really. But
You got some boundaries.
next.
But that helped me not to get into those situations where if someone even I suspect that they might be a person that put their hands on me, that I'm not going into that. So yes, got to, and you got to be real, because if you told me, oh, I was fussing with my ex-girlfriend or my ex-wife and I pushed her or whatever, in my head, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get quiet and I'll be like, so you be pushing on women,
Right.
and that's my next question, because now you're showing me a behavior pattern. And I've ignored that in the past. Well, that was just what they had. No, I'm not going to ignore the fact that you have anger issues, because I ignored the fact so many times, and I want something different. So you aren't my different. You look like everybody else I've been with.
It's about you.
Yes, again, we're going to the I.
So what I'm hearing is the investment that you're making in yourself.
In myself.
You're planning out your life. You're sitting and considering your life and what you want for yourself.
Jesus.
And so
The nice
that
way.
way, nobody can step to you in an incorrect way, because I have this plan.
Right.
I have this journey that I'm
She
on.
value herself.
Yeah. She knows her worth.
When you say that's enough, that's all I had.
Mhm.
Well, not that's all I had. That's all I'm gonna take.
Mhm.
Or I'm not doing that no more.
Enough
Finally valuing
Yourself.
Yeah, that's a
Find your
beginning.
value.
That's a process. That's a way of valuing. Yeah, say no more.
Self-love. And that's the
It's the best.
Self-love
I
is the
get
best love. I don't
And
care
then
what
you
nobody
can
say.
love others.
Yes.
Yeah, but I really believe in loving others. That part.
Yeah.
But I haven't had a relationship in
But you know what?
a long time.
we're taught to love other people before we're taught to love ourselves.
Right.
Isn't it?
That's
I remember
true.
as a little
It's true.
girl,
I learned from my mother.
and I remember everybody. You got a little boyfriend coming to me asking me. I'm 6 years old. Why you asking me?
Who asked you that?
Family members.
Because you were a beautiful child.
No,
No,
it's
you
the way. I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
I was a child.
But
We was
why
sitting
would
there-
you find?
That question
Why
while
would you
she was a
think that I
child.
should have a boyfriend at 6 years old? Why are you inbreeding this into my mind, thinking that this is what I should have? So by the time I'm like 10,
That's
oh,
right. It's too much
that's
pressure.
my boyfriend right there.
Yeah.
You
They
told
groomed
me,
you. They-
yeah,
Yeah, that's a
and get
they
married
groom you
and have a
for the
family,
big
pick
kill.
a fence and all that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Something I wanted to add too, a lot of times, because you're talking about domestic violence in whatever form, some people continue to get in those situations and sabotage a good relationship because they don't know really what that looks like.
absolutely.
They're not healed.
Yeah.
Right, because I had to
Absolutely.
fight that. I have a great marriage,
Yeah.
been married 27 years, and
Nice.
wonderful person. I started
Yeah.
trying to sabotage. It's like, why am I doing that?
Mhm.
You know, but
Yeah.
because of his
Yeah,
personality,
we
his
too
patience,
flip at the mouth
it's
now.
work.
And
I don't
again,
care.
you went back.
Women need to respect men more verbally.
She said we
Like,
flip it.
come here. Excuse me.
No, I'm just saying we need to go back to the eye, but that's a great point too
I
about
can't take
just
it.
being.
I would never. If you call a man, and then this goes the other way too, so don't start looking crazy. If you downgrade and you don't be respectful, yes sir, or yes honey, or whatever, okay? Because when you playing, oh, it's all that.
Mm.
You know, you be making up names for him. You my little
Mm.
sugar doo or whatever.
Sugar.
Sugar boo boo. I'm sorry, sugar boo boo. But yeah, but then you'll get comfortable and you start flipping off at the mouth.
Yeah.
It destroys family.
That's true.
That power of the tongue. Y'all need to get some. Everybody, y'all soul work is to read every passage in the Bible, which now you can do it on the phone. Speaking of the tongue,
Mhm.
because really, it's a mess.
Again, it goes back to I. It goes back to self-control.
Yeah.
And I think that's
You make sure what come out of your
yeah, it's all about yourself. So when it comes to this question, why is it so hard to let go of emotional attachments or love, especially in situations where domestic violence is present or may be suspected? I think we all can agree. We talk about valuing ourselves, about being in fear, about, the fear of starting over, the fear of losing your investment and all those things. But we have about a few minutes. I'm just going to kind of go around and just give us like a short synopsis of what the Purple Rain song means to us. Like when we hear that song, what does it mean to us? We're going to start
to the left. Everything you got in the box.
because we done left them situations, but we're going to start to the left because it's a new beginning.
For me, Purple Rain just means like different emotions and things that you have, but it's up to you if you control it or not. You can allow it to make you or break you. So when I think of that song, Purple Rain, I really never gave it a whole lot of thought prior to understanding this, but it's deep. And allowing situations to mold me and shape me, but not destroy me when I'm in a good situation.
Mhm.
That's good.
That's good.
That's good.
Destroy me when I'm in a good situation.
Tell me what Purple
That's deep
Rain
right
sound like in your ear.
Ooh, Purple Rain is it's being in love and understanding how to endure, how to grow with someone, how to give them grace, how to enjoy one another's presence, how to rest in God's guidance, how to embrace peace and let go of stuff. I got so much stuff to get rid of, from childhood to previous relationships to daddy issues to all kinds of stuff. I just need to. I
Say it
can't
again.
even say
What, you didn't
myself. I
finish?
need to let go. I need to see myself the way God has originally created me, which is good. But sadly to say, I see myself as not good enough.
That's all right. We got you.
And so that's a work in
Gotcha.
progress for me
Welcome.
to learn to love myself, to
Yes.
invest in myself,
Come here.
to go ahead and go through the purple rain, to understand that it's a it's actually a pleasure to be able to experience all these different things in my life, these challenges, because they've matured me into a woman that can say things that are like myself and others, but also I can actually now put my foot to the plow and actually start stepping some of those things out.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for the purple rain.
Yes.
Yeah. And I want to tell you something. Pack light. You've been unpacking.
Yes, ma'am.
You've been, that take too much time, girl. But what you said, that's the difference. You unpack and then you got memories. Because that's the drawers he bought me that time. No, you don't unpack. You pack light for the next journey.
Yes.
And the next to the left, to the left.
Yes.
I just actually learning this song. Really, I mean, you hear it. We've heard it forever, our whole lives.
Yeah.
You know, and just taking the time to read the lyrics and now like think about it and what Prince said and thought about it. And I'm a lyricist myself, and I'm thinking about the colors and what they represent. Red,
Yes.
anger, passion. Blue, sadness, but also like calm times of life too.
Yes, that's a blue. Yeah, my God.
Blending together in the sky to make purple. And purple rain, just tears coming down, but also like releasing all that. Releasing, like when I was singing it, like y'all's emotions, like, oh my God, I can't believe that I made anybody feel. That I made anybody feel. Yeah, y'all. Like when I was singing
stop
it.
yourself because you lying. You
No,
can't believe.
No, but it
Believe
touched me because
Okay, say that. Don't say you can't believe.
well, I
say
can believe.
Yeah.
It touched me
It's the
because
rethinking.
thinking about all of us, all the pain, all the emotions we've all felt our entire lives, and Prince too. The red, the blue, blending into the purple, the rain, the tears, everything we've all been through. That just coming down, just purple rain, purple rain.
Go ahead.
Like what I really think it means now is like releasing all of that, releasing all the pain and the anger and the sadness, how it all blends together into one. Like into just letting it all go. Like you said. Laughing about it, just releasing.
Be free, y'all.
Yes.
Did you get the memo?
Lyricist to lyricist. Like,
Yes.
I'm glad you went before me because that made mine short. Because it's the colors for me. It's the colors that really get me.
Yes.
The red, the blue, but more importantly, the combination.
Yes.
So for me, it's like, okay, there's highs in life, there's lows in life, but when you combine the highs and the lows, you get life. And because I have this life, I'm going to enjoy this life. And because I have this life and I want to enjoy this life with somebody else, I'm going to enjoy it with the person I love, whether it's romantically or platonic. So when I hear that song, I just think about balance. It is like, okay, Prince was balanced. That's what he was. He understood the assignment. He understood that life wasn't going to be good every day and life wasn't going to be bad every day. And it took me back to this post that I seen on Facebook, and it talked about the heartbeat, how it goes up and down.
Yeah.
And it's like basically if every single day there was good days or every single day it was bad days, you're going to flatline. And it's like, okay, God, I thank you for those bad days because it makes my good days even better. And I thank you for those great days because now I'm like, okay, I'm having a moment, but I'm reminding myself in those moments that I'm human. And you said my favorite word. Y'all know it's my favorite word. Grace.
Yes.
Grace yourself. So I have my thing. I talk to myself. I listen to myself, and I grace myself. daily.
Oh, I gotta work on the grace myself. What
Yeah, I
did
grace
that
myself
I
every
didn't
day.
give
I'm like,
myself?
girl, it's okay. You're tired. Go sleep.
Oh,
It's okay.
I
You
can't
really
believe
don't
I
like
did
them,
that.
and you don't have to fake it today.
Yeah.
And I grace myself to know that I have feelings, I have emotions, and that's part of my purple rain. What that purple rain mean to you?
Well, I hadn't thought about it before today. So I did look at the lyrics a little bit, and then I heard her sing, and then I kind of like, so kind of pieced it together in a different way for me.
You could go.
But we mentioned emotional attachment
Oh,
earlier,
that
and I
prayer
think
room,
people
girl.
look at that in a different way. I saw it as like a positive thing, like it's kind of like what you've been looking for after you've been through all these different things.
Yeah.
It's like finally, some of the good days, you know, they feel better than good, and the bad days, say you remember the good days, but now you're with your person. Like
Yes.
I'm very big on person, despite what happened in life, despite anything that happened before in a relationship or whatever. I still believe like my person is out there. I'm gonna find that
You gonna be preparing for him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well.
Person, come through person.
Yeah.
And our last person.
It's the last one. I don't have no, because I was listening to reggae, not Prince. But what I'm going to say is, when I look at Prince visual, because I'm visual, he was a man. See, people was like, oh, look at him. He got on too tight, this or that. For the first time, women like y'all could hear, I'm talking young women, not you, younger women, like 30 and down, they heard a man cry out for the love, and he included a woman in that. I mean, how many men do you hear that just like tell you the truth, that cry out and say, I never meant to hurt you? Ain't that one of the words?
I never meant to.
Girl, that's all we living for now. This is a man. So I love my black man. I love my black man. And that's what that song means to me. A man for the first time being vulnerable enough so we can hear him.
I like
say that again.
I like that.
Being vulnerable enough so we can hear him. She just came out my prayer room. It is real. It's real what we live in. So let's act like it. Let's have fun with it. You know that? Those flowers there, it's cute, huh? But what if I do this? Now we looking at this.
We got like 3 minutes.
Okay, that's fine. This, it's beauty, right? Don't look good? If I take this and put it on her dress, it'll never come out. That's stained. Y'all know they fall, so you always pick them out, you know, so they won't fall all over the place. Just a tip.
What does purple rain mean?
For me, after today, after the conversation, it's similar to what Zyla was saying. It's the release. It's honestly it's a place of a place of joy, a place of grace, a place of healing. And I say that, and I kept answering the question in my head, going back, and I just kept going back to healing, because everything in or place of being healed.
Yes.
Because everything that you want in that purple rain with the release is getting all the love, all the feelings of everything that you want in a place of being. Because we can't feel it if we're not healed.
Sure.
And I've been listening to the song all week, and she in her lyrics, she says we all want love but aren't healed enough to give it, and we all need love but aren't healed enough to feel it.
Wow.
And
Who said that now?
We all want love, but aren't healed enough to give it.
the song is called Don't Touch
All
the
need
Fire.
love, but aren't healed enough to feel
I
it.
shared this
See,
with
Here
everybody
it is now.
with desire,
It's
they
really
need
good.
to burn by the light, so now
She's
you're
like a neo soul
burned by the
artist.
fire.
But
And you're
It's like 802
yes,
Look up.
yes. But no, that's what it pretty much means to me. It's just like being in a place of being healed enough to actually feel what it is that we're looking for. So
Yeah. Ladies,
that.
we have released.
Yes.
Everybody's relaxed. And now it's time for us to receive a new place of just being, and to continue to get mad the right way.
Oh, there you go. Lord have mercy. What's she going through? Okay, I gotta tell her story. She's not here no more. Excuse me. Domestic violence. As I finished my song about Do Re Mi, violins played in the background, exchanging the trembles for trebles. He read the clef note I left and responded by choking off my breath. I had just come back from my piano lesson. I really was not in the mood to hear his threatful confession, cause the music was still playing in my head. I didn't want to give him the impression that I had finally composed a song that represented the end of us, the end of lust, the end of all my fears and abuse for all those years. He heard me humming while he was beating me and realized that I had changed. Yes, I was no longer playing his game. He couldn't smell the shame on me or the low self-esteem when I was team him. I had chosen Beethoven over him. Music was my new lover, and he wanted me to stop humming, and I wouldn't. He tried to break my fingers like he broke my trust, my heart, but I kept on humming until I no longer felt his bite or his bark. But he heard the ancient harps being played, and my guardian angels as the Lord and the law took him away. I sat down and I thank God for the strength to compose this piece, to come to the understanding that we all have the ability to create the masterpiece that will change chaotic into melodic and abusive, violent woes into life-changing crescendos. Yeah, so rise up, sisters. Play on, sisters. Compose your freedom songs until you embrace the beats that represents your peace. Peace. Do, re, mi. Do, re, you. Do, re, we. Shit, do, re, free. We are free. Be free.
Oh, yeah.
Buy my book. Only wanna see you bathing in the purple rain. Honey, I know, I know the times are changing. And times we young wanna reach out for someone new. That means you too. You say you need a leader. You can't make up your mind. I think you better close it. Let me lead you now. Let him lead you now. Let him lead you